Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having a good morning. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Market's going to open in about, 20 seconds if I'm not mistaken. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. One thing I want to congratulate everyone that ended up being, oh, there we go. Market just opened. We should be able to see these moves. So JDST, look what happened. Opening at $93. Yesterday, I sold at 87.27. So let's overall margin that it's covered, about 6%. Again, forward slash GC has been showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern. I'm sorry, JDST has been showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern, and forward slash GC as well as JNUG has been showing signs of a continuous sell-off. As of right now, I set two alerts. One alert here to see if it starts making higher highs for forward slash GC. That would be in favor of JNUG. If it continues to get rejected, then that would be in favor of JDST itself, right? So let's see where JDST is at. I think I just removed something from my watch list. I'm going to go ahead and remove drawing here just because it's kind of bothersome with that gray. There we go. Here we go. We're getting a nice little push up on what's it called, JDST. We could see that JNUG just broke below its support at 670. It's showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern with the middle and top view up. Also, I got the alert on DGAS today that it's showing signs of an uptrend pattern. A lot of consolidation happening, which kind of makes sense. So on this 180-day analysis, one thing that we would like to see is for this thing to start. It sold off. It's consolidating right around $24, and for this thing to start making higher highs. So wherever it is that you feel comfortable, if you want to give it a little bit more time, it's solely up to you, right? I would definitely keep a very close eye on this. As of right now, it looks like we're experiencing, a resistance right around 24.40. I'm going to set my alert there, see if we can get a nice little push up. And I really want to understand the overall direction of DGAS as of right now. So as we could see, under the middle VWAP for forward slash NG, we could see natural gas trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, signs of a downward pattern. So because of that, that would be in favor of DGAS itself. Give me one quick second. Yeah, I think forward slash GC is showing signs of a potential sell-off again, which then would be in favor of JDST, and there it goes. JDST just hit highs of $94. This is really annoying because I had the opportunity during pre-market hours to get in right around 92.50. I didn't think that it was going to push up or continue to push up. This is something that we have to admit to ourselves. This isn't something that JDST does extremely often, right? It does sometimes rally, but it doesn't go and push this much every single time. So let me look at the 180 net. Okay, 180-day analysis. I need to blow my nose. All right, CMG just broke its resistance. Here we go. So CMG, that's Chipotle if I'm not mistaken. There we go. Chipotle showing signs of an uptrend pattern, really breaking resistance levels. LABU breaking supports, which means that LABD is the one that's pushing up today. So LABD is still the one that's bullish. Again, this one's just a little bit more on the overbought side. So just something that you guys want to take into consideration. Where's Nike? I think I might have removed Nike from my watch list by accident. So NKE, I got a couple alerts that was breaking some resistance levels, and there it goes. It's approaching that territory from $83 to $84 of it becoming a little bit more on the overbought side. So that's my 2 cents on. We did a really good job calling this one out when it was around that $81 range. It's pushed up and it's covered about its 3%. So now we're reaching more of that sell territory. So just a friendly reminder. Also, it has its earnings report in about one week to about 10 days. So JDST, let me follow up with this one very quickly, see where it's at. Man, I was like, why do I feel so weird? Why do I feel like I'm talking to myself? Because I don't have you guys on my screen. So let's see. Let's see where it's at. So yeah, JDST is definitely killing it. Again, it's showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern. All right, let's see. Let's see. And one thing that I want to remind you guys is that let me just double check this. Okay, so we have a couple people saying like, and in all power to you, like I want you guys to be extremely confident with what it is that you guys are like calling out and stuff like that. I want you guys to know that call outs mean absolutely nothing, right? Especially if you don't take action. It's great when it comes down to doing your technical analysis and if you're trying to become more familiar with how to perform them. But for someone like the thing, like when I try to do a technical analysis on like, let's say JDST, I don't try to say, especially when it doesn't have any history of approaching a certain range. Like looking at the 180-day chart for something like, okay, so forward slash GC just broke below support, which means that it's going to start showing signs of an uptrend pattern. There we go. So I'm going to buy just about, let's go with 250 shares as of now, and then I can add more later. I'll buy it at market price. Here, I need a little bit of a pullback. Okay, so a little bit below $94 is where I got filled. There we go, a nice little push up. Wow, okay, nice little push up. Up $141. Nice, nice. There. But one thing that I wanted to cover very quickly is that I was going to show you guys the 180-day analysis on this specific, here let me remove this, on this specific ticker itself. And the reason that I was going to do this is like, you know, you can make the assumption that it's going to go to $100, you can make the assumption that it's going to go to $200, but there's nothing to support that other than the continuous uptrend pattern, right? So instead of other than trying to predict like where it's going to go, why not just try to focus on something that, you know, you can go off of and try to have a better understanding of just making sure that you're getting a good buy as it continues to rally, and every time that it pushes up at a certain price point with indicators that you are given, you know, the opportunity to use, just to properly use those, right? To have a better understanding of when something is overbought, then sell them, right? And when you see that they're a little bit more overextended, then lock in profits and walk away, right? So then if it continues to rally, great, you can always get back in, but at least you always understand as it continues to push up, if you know you're getting a good deal or you're selling even while it's pushing up. So some of you guys might be asking or might have trouble like understanding like how to get a good deal as something pushes up, and that's an area of opportunity, something that you have to test, something that you have to become more familiar with on buying on the pullbacks, buying when they're reversing up, and then adding more to your position as they go. So the position that I just took right now, my position was not a 100% position, right? I could take about 340 shares if I'm not mistaken, but the thing is like you. Like as of right now, I see JDST pushing up. So I was going to lock in profits right around 94.50 just because I'm up, I think, a little bit over $100. But in reality, like I can add more to my position. So if I see this thing start making higher highs, then I can add more to my position as this thing continues to rally because it's confirming a continuous uptrend pattern. And because I want to grow my account, it makes sense on why I want to like, you know, add more to my position. So there we go. We just broke its resistance. So I'm up $149 on the day so far. This was, you guys saw when I took the 250 shares. This was all done, right, while I was here. So let me double check just to make sure because the price has increased and I don't want to take too large of a position. So 350 times 94.50, let's say. Okay, no, so I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm actually going to stay with my position. I don't want to overexert myself with too large of a position, especially if something becomes more overbought. So I'm just going to keep it simple, stay at 250. Yes, I can take a larger position, but you know, I really want to keep it simple today. Even if I end up with a $150, $200 profit, that's still a great amount of money. And I just want to make sure that I continue to focus on whatever's pushing up. So we're definitely seeing that nice little push up. Let's double check forward slash GC as of right now. Forward slash GC again selling off. It's approaching this potential support based on where it bounced at before. I'm going to remove my active trader just so I don't get distracted by my profits or my losses if I was down. But right now it would be profits, right? So I want to focus more on the pattern itself. And I think that makes sense, right? And you guys can ask me questions as I go if I'm not explaining myself enough, but I think I'm trying to explain myself as best I can. So I'm going to sell. I'm just going to have my position ready to sell at market price. That's fine. We have the buyers at 94.50. We have the sellers at like 94.69 as of right now. Nice little push up. What's good on, Brody? Hope you're having a good morning. So we're seeing a slight resistance right around 94.80. It makes sense on why we're experiencing a resistance here. Again, we're looking at /GC. We're approaching this like support territory, and because of that, this being a potential bounce area, I'm just going to go ahead and lock in my profits. I know it doesn't make much sense completely, but look at the MACD, look at the RSI. I think that makes sense. Yes, it can continue to rally, but I also have to like be honest with myself and show that, you know, this isn't the best deal. It would make sense to lock in profits, and I should probably walk away, right? So I'm just gonna put my order to sell, and here we go. So I got filled at 94.69, as you guys can see here, and it definitely can 100% push up. So I'm gonna set my alert here. So I locked in $180.13. Definitely not bad. 250 shares. You guys saw me buy it. You guys saw me sell it. And I felt like that was a very simple trade. So again, why did I sell? Can this thing continue to push up? This thing can shoot up to $100 right now for all I know. But it wouldn't, I cannot, like, and this is me explaining myself, I cannot make sense on why it would, right? So all I could make sense of is what I'm given. And what I'm given is telling me that, okay, right now this thing is a little bit overextended. We could see that with the RSI. We could see that with the MACD. It's showing signs of a descending pattern. And it makes sense on why this thing can push up and pull back just a little bit. Not only just that, but on /CL, right? This thing is showing signs of a potential bounce around this previous support. So it's reaching the support territory, right? So it could 100% not bounce here, and it can continue to descend. And the great thing about that is that I can get back in on JDST, right? If it pushes above $95, and I really want to get in, it makes sense, right? I can get back in. But as of right now, it makes sense on why I should probably wait, right? So I just want to share that with you guys. Like, why am I selling at certain price points? Why did I buy at certain price points? And again, we're reaching this bounce territory. So if this bounces, that means that JDST will get rejected, right? And we're kind of seeing that. We're kind of seeing a little bit of a pullback. So I'm going to set my alert for when I, get in below $94. And again, I did not get in at the best price point. This was kind of like definitely a day trade, right? As it was pushing up, I need to sell as it exits. One thing that I could focus on a little bit more is try to get in for a good deal. So if we see a sell-off, as /GC and JNUG recovers, actually, this thing just broke below its, let's see, I'm going to set my alert down here just so I can set it. But we'll just have to see how this one ends up going. I think I just got the alert that DGAS broke below a certain price point. What's going on, brother?
It's a new jewel.
Huh?
The new jewel.
Right? There we go. Microsoft just had this really nice push up. It was actually showing signs of a descending pattern to that. I think this is very unexpected. How we get it? You're going to class, right? You're going to class?
Yeah.
All right, later, brother. I really like Nike. It's showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Again, it's just a little bit more on the overbought side. So friendly reminder on that. And then DGAS is one that I think makes a little bit more sense on why it's starting to recover. My alert went off, but it ended up pulling back a little bit. So as long as it continues to rally, first look at the MACD, showing signs of potential peak formation. I would be a little bit more patient for this thing to fully reverse and then find a better buy around that area. So is there any questions that you see that I should? Is there anything that you guys are watching that are showing signs like that's a really good deal, showing signs of a reversal? I know a lot of you guys have a lot of callouts. Let's just be very picky with what we're calling out right now. I really like this push that we're experiencing with Microsoft today. I just don't like that it just happened in the past like 10 minutes because this whole push just makes it look very overextended. Do you guys see this? And do you guys see the MACD on how it has potential to pull back? That's the only thing. I really like the pattern on it. So there we go. JDST just broke below its support. I feel like we did a really good job with that. Now /GC should be showing signs of a potential recovery or making higher highs. There we go. My alert should be going off in just a little bit. And again, it doesn't mean that it's going to recover a lot, but it just made sense. The MACD made sense. The overall support based on previous support made sense on why, I thought that there could be a potential bounce. And again, these supports are just psychological price points. It doesn't mean 100% that it's going to bounce there. So yeah, so right now JDST is showing signs of a potential sell-off. Where is it going to bounce? We don't know. We have to wait for the confirmation. So $100 MSFT. Does that mean that you're up $100 or that you got in at the $100 price point? Regardless, congrats. There we go. Nike. I'm going to set my alert again. Nike, I don't find it to be a good deal. Congrats to all those that are already invested. Super happy for you. A little jealous. Here we go with DGAS. So DGAS has been showing signs of this like upward staircase pattern like this. So let's see if it starts to bounce. Margin isn't huge. It's about 1%, so not much for me. There we go. I'm going to give it a little bit more time. I'm going to watch this one pretty closely. So I'm just going to watch this because this is more of, being a little bit more bullish at the moment. I want to see if I could, continue to play it. And overall, the SMA is pointing down. Even if it ends up recovering, I think I could try to get in for a good deal. So I'm going to be patient on this one. I see a couple of people called a couple different tickers out. A TNDM, why is that not in my, it is in my watch list. Okay, there it goes. Up over 6% on the day. Honestly, this one has been so consistent for the past 180 days. This is going to be almost like my go-to. Anytime that I am struggling to find something that's actively trending up, just look at this. Continuously moving up. Obviously, I still want to focus on the very basics, but definitely holding above the EMA line. It's showing signs of an uptrend pattern. So if you're struggling to, first of all, if you're just getting started, even if it's $1 or even if you could only buy one share, it 100% makes sense on why if you're really struggling to stay green, then just focus on whatever's actively trending up. And even if you're focusing on this with paper trading, you need to get the ball rolling and just learning how to invest in uptrend patterns, regardless of the potential for profit that they have to offer. I know they're not 100, maybe, or whatever, 20 to 100% margins, but if you're struggling to even just grow your account, then that should be the least of your worries. Just focus on staying green, right? And I know it sucks to admit, trust me, I've had to admit it multiple times. But again, you have to just remind yourself that you're here to grow your account and you could focus on maximizing dollar value much later down the road. So okay, so we have someone calling out MSI. Let's check that out. MSI looks a little bit overextended on the day. I think that we could all agree on that. Looking at the 180-day analysis, I like that. Pretty solid continuous uptrend pattern. It looks like it's showing signs of potential making higher highs. The MACD looks good. RSI looks good. It looks definitely a little bit more on the overbought. I can't say it's the best deal, but when it comes down to technicals, it does make sense on why it will start to recover. It just doesn't offer huge margins of profit. And the opportunity cost maybe just wouldn't be there, just worth it for me in that sense. So I'm going to be watching this one pretty closely just right now. The MACD is starting to become a little bit more overextended. I want to see if it starts to reverse back up. And if so, then I feel like it has a pretty decent margin that I could potentially capitalize on. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time. I'm going to first go in with 150 shares. Again, I'm not buying right now. I'm just saying that when it does start to reverse, I feel like I'm going to go with 150 shares first and then add more to my position as it continues to rally. So I'm going to be a little patient so I have a good, okay, there's quite a bit of call outs right now. So I'm just waiting for my confirmation on the MACD and for the overall pattern to reflect that as well. Let's see, let's check this out. Okay, so Jay, if you want to direct message me via Discord, just make sure that you tell me that you're one of the comments in the morning live chat today. I'd be more than happy to assist you. It sounds like you're getting frustrated by or just in staying green, and I 100% understand that. One of the biggest factors in especially as you're just getting started, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, right? You're going to make a lot of mistakes regardless of how perfect you identify a uptrend pattern to be. It could be that you got in when it was still a little bit more on the overbought side, and then it pulled back, and then you ended up just getting psyched out. Regardless of what it is, I'm here to work with you on that. But the biggest factor is just understanding that right now you should not be trying to focus on maximizing your dollar value. That's the thing that I want to make sure that we cover. You might be trying to approach this in a very aggressive way, and I'm not too sure if that's going to be the best, because a lot of emotions can come into play when it comes down to that. So we just got the confirmation of this reversal. I waited a little bit too long, so I'm going to have to wait. So I'm going to go back in with the 250 shares. I'm going to go in here. I made a mistake. I should not have done that. I meant to go in with a market order, and I did not. Yeah. So now I think I waited a little bit too long. I could still definitely get in. I'm going to be getting in at the same price point as I did last time. That's just a little bit of the upsetting part. I don't know if you guys saw my order. I sent it as a limit order. I wasn't paying much attention because I was talking, but I definitely should have gone in more as a market price. So that's my mistake. Something I could work on to be a little bit more efficient. Dingleberry mistakes. And yeah, I could see this thing pulling back just a little bit before it continues to rally. So let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I was /GC lucky and /GC still. Okay, that was a nice little push up. Again, my mistake. TMDM just broke resistance. There it goes. Oh, and of course, I waited a little bit too much for my specific entry. I honestly don't even know. Okay, I pulled the trigger on it because I got the alert that /CL /GC started selling off, which is showing signs of a downward pattern, which should be in favor of JDST itself. My entry point is definitely not the best. I definitely did not make. That's actually really upsetting because I thought I saw 94.20 here, but I wasn't looking at the market price. So that's fun. So I'm down $20 on my open position. My average price is 94.47. And we'll set the alert to see if we start making higher highs. The MACD still looks decent. The RSI still looks decent. The overall pattern of /GC selling off still looks just fine. I'll set my alert for another break below support. Man, dingleberry mistake. All right. Okay, someone was calling out ESV. I'll do that as I already set my alerts on JDST as of now, so I can do a couple breakdowns. Okay, so I could see why this one's being called out, why it was a good or decent buy around this area. It's showing signs of a potential uptrend pattern. I would still treat it a little bit more as a day trade. I like the MACD, I like the push up. Looking at it, the 1 day 1 minute chart doesn't have huge amounts of volume. It is very overbought, so it makes sense on why it would pull back. So I would just focus on that. Because it has a lot of margin to still cover, I would still approach it as the average up approach if you're looking to potentially swing trade it. If not, then just as a day trade, you would really have to hope that it continues to rally. Because if not, then it doesn't make much sense on, if this thing is already super overbought, then it just doesn't make much sense on, why this would be a good buy at the moment. Like it's definitely green, and this is one thing that I think a lot of people make the mistake on. It's green right now, but is it going to continue to make higher highs? Because yes, it's green right now, but this doesn't matter. Like this is just for you to get the understanding that it's moving up. But what you have to ask yourself is how much more margin or margin of profit does it have to offer that it could realistically still grow? And with the RSI already consolidated, with the MACD already descending, you just have to ask yourself, is it very realistic? If it is, then all power to you. If it's not, then maybe it's not the best deal, right? And I think we could really, so there we go, $319 on the day. And again, my entry point was baloney. So let's see if we can get a nice little push up. /GC should have been able to potentially make lower lows. So again, we're approaching the support territory. So JDST should continue to push up. Here we go. I'm just going to get my order ready to sell. Okay. Market price, we're all set there. I won't make that dingleberry mistake again. That's really upsetting. But I'm really, that's upsetting, and it's like I missed out on some margin, especially about 1%, since I should have gotten in at the confirmation here. But regardless, one thing that, whoa, that's a pretty aggressive sell-off. Let's see how this, okay, it's consolidating around the support, so I need to understand that. But one thing that I think we did very well is, again, just focusing on whatever's actively trending up. I feel like I was very patient with that reversal. It made a lot of sense on why I did that. I just was maybe then, I don't want to say too patient, but I wasn't quick enough to take action. So area of opportunity for that specific trade. Hit my daily goal on 1.5%. Nick Bolden, my guy. Congrats, man. Super happy to hear that. 1.5%, you're up more than I am. So that's really solid. Ooh, really nice sell-off. So for you to ask like what happened to TNDM, I have no idea. You should look, that looks like it has to do with maybe some news or an alert that came out, some form of catalyst. So I would check that out. Or look a little bit more into it. So as of right now, this isn't looking super hot. /GC might already have bounced. An overall pattern and direction is definitely moving down. I think that's very easy to see, right? That the idea of it making like higher lows, and also, I mean, it is consolidating around the support, and it isn't breaking below it. So that's the only like sketch part about this. But yeah, I mean, the overall pattern is still moving down for /GC, which is in favor of JDST still at the moment. Also, Microsoft is still continuing to rally. It's doing a really good job validating this EMA line. So how many of you guys are in Microsoft right now? And how many of you guys are in Nike? There we go. Nice little push up on DGAS. So I've been trading for the past month, up almost 20%. Super happy to hear that. Congrats, David. And on Microsoft, what's going on, Adam? Who taught you how to trade? Who's your mentor? I didn't have a mentor when it came down to trading. I was just learning online from watching videos and reading forums. I've explained that in my video. Yeah, took profit on MSFT. So Brian, why did you sell Microsoft? And I 100% like respect that you sold it. So I'm just asking for everyone to know, like, why did you, like, what made you, like, why sell, right? It's pushing up. Why sell something that's pushing up? Like, why would you do that? For someone that like might be asking, like, why, as this thing is pushing up, why would you sell it? I saw it super overextended and I anticipated a sell-off. Okay, 100%. And that's the biggest thing. So Brian saw some form of indication that it was very overbought, right? Overextended, and he anticipated a sell-off. There was a reason for what he did. And that's what I want to make sure everyone does moving forward, that there is a reason for the action that you take. So if he understands where he's buying because he views it as a good deal because of his technical analysis and it makes sense to him, 100%. The biggest, like, I think drawback that I experience when it comes down to like helping traders out is when they do something and they don't understand why they did it. When they enter a position and they don't know why. When they sell a position and they don't know why. There should be a reason for every enter and exit. Entry and exit. I can't speak English today. Maybe I should start speaking Spanish. But 100%. Just wanted to, make sure that we congratulate Brian and all those that are taking action on whatever it is that they see value in. Yeah, I did see that Microsoft was showing signs of a potential pullback. Again, it's still doing a really good job holding above the EMA line. But the biggest thing that you want to ask yourself is, not, if it's still holding, but is it showing any indication of a reversal? If you see a lot of consolidation without it making like higher highs and stuff like that, whoa. Do I have something on my face? No?
You look ugly.
Oh, right.
No, you don't.
Okay. But yeah. So there we go. DGAS showing signs of a really nice uptrend pattern. So just made highs for the, or not highs for the day, but it's approaching highs for the day around 24.40. So that's really nice to see. We're experiencing a sell-off on JDST. So hit highs of 95.15. Again, definitely made sense on why it peaked out there. Looking at /GC, let's take a little bit of a closer look. We're getting some consolidation around this area. So is Ishmael watching your live? Yeah, he's on the live and then he's answering questions as well. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, Microsoft is still showing signs of an uptrend pattern, but the biggest thing that I just want you to ask yourself is, even as a day trade, if you're going in as a day trade, just ask yourself, is it overextended as a day trade? If it is, then regardless of how much it's going up, if you're not comfortable in your position, you're gonna make like emotional mistakes, right? So with that understanding, like the opportunity cost just isn't worth it. So don't think so much more about like every dollar value every penny that it's going to go up. Just try to focus on, are you getting a good deal? If so, great, do your thing. If not, then guess what? You don't have to actually hold this position. You could sell it and then just walk away. Amazing thing about trading is that you get to decide on what you invest in. So don't be so focused on like, oh no, I have to do this because I'm going to miss this opportunity. Trust me, I know it sucks, and I make the mistake like almost every single week. Sometimes I still get very emotional. Like, when I, like JDST. JDST is trading, it hit highs of $95, guys. Yesterday, I had it when it was at $86, right? Like, talk about missed opportunity. But I can't kick myself in the foot for selling something when there was an obvious indication of a potential resistance. So just be happy with what you know. And if you're upset with mistakes that you've made because you've left some food on the table, right, some dollar on the margin, then just focus on refining yourself. But in the very beginning, I would just focus so much more on just staying green. And even if that's 1 to 3% a week, you're still doing something that 95% of the market can't do. And I know it's not glorified and it might not be huge margins or huge dollar values of profit because you're just getting started and you have a smaller account. But again, it's that snowball effect. Get that ball rolling, feel comfortable, understand what you're doing, and then later down the road, you can, because you feel more comfortable, you'd be more confident to invest a higher dollar value, right? It makes sense. Like if I'm someone that just started investing in real estate, do you think my first house that I would buy would be the house that I just bought? No, because it's much more expensive than I think that I would feel comfortable investing in. But because I started with something that was much more affordable, I got the ball rolling, and then I became more familiar with the platform or the market, then buying a more expensive house makes sense because now I understand the market a little bit more, so I'm that much more confident. It's still scary, but again, I feel that much more confident. It's kind of still with trading, right? All right, let's check it. Nike is showing a lot of consolidation with no signs of a really uptrend pattern. So I would be kind of iffy about this one. I'm going to set my alert here for when it breaks below this. Also going to set my alert here to see if it makes higher highs. Sweet. TNDM showing signs of potential recovery. I'm going to set my alert on this. MACD looks good. Margin is decent. DGAS did a really nice job of pushing out to around the resistance of 2440. We called out that resistance, peaking out, now selling off. Makes sense. UWT green on the day, that means that DWT isn't. Looks like it's validating this SMA line as a support, which used to be a resistance. Very good to see. RSI is becoming more overextended. Keep a close eye on the MACD. Pulling back a little bit on H2Z. No signs of an uptrend pattern or making higher highs at the moment, so probably not something that I want to invest in as of now. Dude, there's like a little like fly on me.
Oh, I saw it.
Saw it?
Yeah.
Kill that little son of a gun. Oh, there it is. Ah. I'm sorry, guys. I hate flies. Oh my gosh. I was not paying enough attention. There we go. JDST with that sell-off. Forward slash GC with a really nice push up. Okay. TNDM just broke above. There we go. So let's be very patient with this. Unless you guys think that it's just going to shoot up, all power to you. But let's make sure that we see that upward staircase pattern on TNDM. Whoa. I wasn't paying that much attention. JDST just really sold off. Like very aggressively. Yeah. It's reaching highs for the day. There it goes, just made higher highs, so it should be below 93. Gee willikers. Okay, so we're reaching a territory where now JNEG is a little bit more on the overbought side. I'm just going to try to be patient on this one. Forward slash GC just broke its resistance, 95.50. So that's in favor of JNUG. Let's see. See. Here we go. Let's check this out. Again, we're approaching the, what's it called, MACD is not showing any signs of a reversal just yet. Still selling off. There it goes, forward slash GC, just broke again above the SMA. Now we're approaching that middle VWAP. I'm going to add JNEG here so I can go back and forth a little bit quicker. It doesn't mean that I'm going to trade it. So UWT just broke above its support. Nice. There it goes. Really nice push up. Definitely showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Looks like the SMA line was acting as a resistance based on previous patterns and pretty much all day yesterday. So really aggressive sell-off, something that I did not expect at all. And again, this isn't something that I think I could have personally have identified like that would have made a lot of sense. One thing that I have to understand is like, I could only, and then this is some mistakes that, we make from time to time. But definitely I could have done a better job when, what's it called, forward slash GC was at that 1193 support. I thought it was going to make lower lows. It was approaching a support. I should have locked in profits on JDST, but I did not, right? So, but one thing that I liked about JDST when it was showing signs of a reversal, right? I was looking at the MACD as you guys can see here, and then I got in when it was above the middle VWAP. Looking at the MACD, it still showed like it was about to convert to a buy signal, and that's why you never want to solely rely on one indicator, because as this thing was pushing up, I was waiting for the green to come, but no, it peaked out there, and you could see that the RSI was overextended. You could have seen the support on forward slash GC, and it made sense on why it can get rejected at this price point at around $95. But I was looking at the MACD, I was paying a lot of attention to that. Unfortunately, it did not play according to plan. I still like the overall direction that JDST is heading. I could be completely wrong, but I still do think that it's going to recover. Looking at forward slash GC and how aggressively it's been descending, it's kind of been making this movement all day, or within the past week, where it tries to recover but doesn't really hold. So if you look at the 5-day, 5-minute chart, it just continuously gets rejected, right? So overall downward pattern, so it just means that I might have to be a little bit more patient on my position with JDST. Did not get in for the best entry, area of opportunity for me there. It looks like it's trying to recover right now. Who knows, right? So all I could understand is like what I'm given, right? And the data that I could analyze. I feel like I did a pretty good job with JDST, but based on maybe some news or something like that, it aggressively sold off, and that's just not. I could have been quicker at cutting losses, and I could have gone in for a better deal and sell for a profit. Area of opportunity there, but other than that, I guess I should have paid more attention to the support on forward slash GC and why I should have locked it in at $95. So. Okay, so we have people asking about Gush. What is it that you guys, we've talked about the overall direction of Gush. So Gush again still is showing signs of a downward pattern. Yes, it is approaching that support right around $30. Showing signs of a downward pattern, still below this EMA line, right? The MACD looks good, all that looks good. I would pay attention to forward slash CL and this direction. Overall, it's kind of, there's 3 stages in a reversal. Rejection, right now I would say that it's in the consolidation phase. So that's something that I would really, take into consideration, that it's not confirming an uptrend, that it's still getting rejected. So with that understanding, I would be a little bit more patient or hesitant to get in for a swing trade. If you want to day trade it, all power to you. I just don't think it's swing trade material just yet. So that's my 2 cents. And Gush should follow a very similar pattern to this. Well, Jay, you're more than welcome to look at whatever it is that you want. I don't feel comfortable looking at short-term swing trades as of right now. And if you want to start to analyze and start to do short-term swing trades and want to share them with the group and then tag me in the group alerts, all power to you. I'll break them down with you, but it doesn't mean that that's something that I'm personally going to trade. So, okay, so LABD, I still think that it's overextended. I don't think that it's a good deal. It had a nice little push up today, if I'm not mistaken. So if you look at the 1 day, 1 minute mark, it looks good. But again, just looking at the big picture charts, you could see that it's a downward pattern. You could see that it's reaching a territory where it's a little bit more on the overbought side, and it makes sense on why it can sell off. So because of that, I'm not too interested in it. And that's why I talked about the inverse ETF of this, which is LABU. Still, I would not trade either. I don't think that this one's a good deal. I don't think that this one is. I think it's overbought, and then I think that LABU is in that good deal territory. It's just still trending down, and I don't want to touch it with that. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. Yeah, no, so Preston, so do you always have a stop loss in? No, not, and especially not for when I'm actively trading. It doesn't mean that this is how you have to trade yourself. And again, this is my preference. And, I feel like I try to focus much more on overall direction. Like I'm investing in something that right now is actively trending up. So I think that even with a matter of time, it can recover. But time is, a huge factor. If you're day trading and especially momentum stocks, that's where I would focus much more on stop losses and focusing much more on those specific indicators. But as of right now, that's just not a huge factor when it comes down to I just have to be a little bit more patient with the reversal and wait for it to play out and wait for /GC to sell off. Yeah. PayPal not making higher highs, a lot of consolidation happening right now. It's showing signs of this like potential bull flag pattern, so I really do like that. And overall direction, I actually really like it. So thank you again for bringing it up and and bringing it back to our attention. So again, CMG showing signs of an uptrend pattern with a lot of margin to cover. JDST pushing up, but pretty overextended. HTZ showing signs of a potential reversal, might be overextended, so I'd wait for a pullback. DGAS might start showing signs of an uptrend pattern. It was trying to today. We'll see if it holds above that EMA line. UWT still waiting for that reversal, so I will set my another alert here for it to start making higher highs. And then TNDM had a pretty nice pullback today. We'll see if it starts to continue to make higher highs. It's reaching like this consolidation right around $47, $46, something to take into consideration. And then PayPal showing signs of a potential reversal. Had a really nice push up today. I would wait a little bit for a pullback and then go based off of that. So Nike, we did a really good job trading this when it was pushing up. It's now just reaching a territory where it's a little bit more on the overbought side, and then also its earnings is coming up, so I would consider that more of a sell coming up. Microsoft's showing signs of an uptrend, a little bit overextended. I would wait for a pullback on this one. And then JNUG doing a very good job trying to recover intraday. I don't think it's really going to last. I was just having it for my watch list because I wanted to go back and forth, so I went ahead and removed it. But yeah, so that's really just it for today, team. I just want to show you guys, I'll keep you guys up to date with my JDST position. I feel pretty confident with it. I just need to be a little bit more patient. I'm going to set my alerts, and if I end up, completely, falling below the EMA line, or SMA line, then I'll probably consider cutting losses. But as of right now, I feel pretty comfortable with its overall movement and direction. Although it did sell off more than I wanted it to, I have to understand that /GC and its movement and kind of how it performs, right? So it pushed up, reaching signs of a potential peak formation. So maybe setting an alert on when it starts to sell off just to confirm the sell-off, right? Or if it really starts to push up, then maybe I might want to consider the idea of cutting losses, right? If this thing continues to be bullish. But overall direction for /GC on the 5-day, 5-minute chart within the previous patterns is down. Thank you. All right, guys. But thank you guys again so much for your time. I really appreciate everything it is that you guys did today. Hopefully you guys learned something new with the way that we broke things down. I appreciate it, Brett. I feel like we kept it pretty simple. I feel like I did some trading, and I explained myself on my entries and my exits. It was very simple in that perspective. But I really enjoyed the way that I explained myself today and elaborated on a couple things. I hope that you guys learned so much more from that than just watching me trade. And I really hope that your next trade ends up being green, but let's make sure that we plan it out and that we're picky with what we choose to invest in. So hope you guys all have an amazing Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and get some brunch right now, and then after buy a lot. Brunch, yeah.
At 7 a.m.?
Yeah, I don't like breakfast.
But it's breakfast.
Yeah, but I don't like breakfast.
What are you going
Ishmael, no one's talking to you, bro.
All of LPPs.
Just kidding. This is Ishmael, and then we got Sergio in the back. So hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. Have fun with what it is that you do. And again, I'm here to answer any questions. Just give me some time to get situated back at the other house. So there we go. JDS2 just broke above 93. Feeling much happier. So hope you guys all have an amazing rest of your day. Take it easy, team. My name's Ricky. I day trade.